how to know that your fiancé is not ready or might not be ready for marriage. What does being ready for marriage actually mean?
When we talk about readiness, the first aspect is emotional readiness.
Okay.
Is this person, are you emotionally strong enough to handle the intricacies of a relationship? Are you in for what it takes for you to be in a relationship and continue into a marriage?
You know, marriage is a promotion. It's graduation from single life. So it's a whole shift in the mindset. And so are you really committed? And of course, you know what we are seeing on the market.
Yes. Is it possible to love someone and still not be ready to marry them? Maybe why or why not? Is it possible to love someone and still not be ready to marry them? Welcome back to Reality Check. We are back again this week with another conversation for you. This channel cares for hearts and minds, and we have conversations on mental health. That seems to be a buzzword. I guess not just a buzzword, but something that we need to actually pay keen attention to. Your mental health, your mental well-being, and some of the areas that could potentially affect your mental health, which is your marriage, your family, your relationships, your parenting journey, and in the workplace. So if that's something that you enjoy or you think would be beneficial to you, please do subscribe and give this episode a thumbs up. That being said, we are at the beautiful Suma Coffee House and Wellness Center enjoying an amazing cup of coffee, some tea for my guest. Dr. Evas has decided she's fasting. Is she?
Yeah.
She will break the fast
Until lunchtime.
Until lunchtime.
At lunchtime, she's breaking the fast.
Okay. I don't know that kind of fast, but she's fasting. So if you are in town and you're looking for a space to work, to meet with friends, to have your meetings with some, healthy juices, very healthy options, food, and a wide range of supplements, again, to take care of your physical health, because your physical health impacts your mental health. Suma Coffee House and Wellness Center is the place to be. That's in Kamocha, exactly where Total Energies is. So if you know Acacia Mall, opposite Total, that's where Suma Coffee House and Wellness Center is. Today and this week, we wanted to have a conversation around knowing if your fiancé might not be ready for marriage. I know you might be dating right now and saying, what did they say? Let me get my cup of coffee. Yes, get your cup of coffee.
Some popcorns.
And some popcorn. Because we are going to show you if your fiancé might not be ready for marriage. And maybe you have taken note of some of the red flags. We are here to validate those red flags for you. So we have, I don't want to call him a dangerous substitute, a dangerous expert representing the men. Samuel Bakutana, he's back again with us.
Yeah.
And Dr. Eva Satwine, of course.
The usual suspect.
The usual suspect. Yes, the usual suspect. So welcome, Samuel.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be back on this show.
Yeah.
Maybe that shows I did well the other time. So this
you
week
really
I'm
did.
back. I'm glad to be invited again.
You really did. Oh, and he's married, so he has some credibility.
He's going to represent his brother.
His brothers. Yeah.
And my beloved sisters in a way.
Exactly.
So yes, I've been married last 16 blissful years of marriage. Happy marriage with Miss Universe, the queen of my heart.
Hello.
Honorable Charity, my watermelon, with 2 children, 15-year-old, 10-year-old or so. And I'm also an author on relationship issues. I've written 3 specific books on relationships. One is here called Someone to Love, 7 Pillars in the Quest for Your Beloved Marriage Partner. I also wrote another one called Fresh Apples for Single People, the 33 Secrets to a Relationship that Leads to Marriage. And also another one called Am I Ready for This Relationship? The 4 non-negotiable dynamics for readiness in a relationship.
Marriage.
So those are 3 out of my 26 books.
Yeah.
These issues.
So you see why he's here. I think he's highly qualified to talk about this subject.
The good news is that I was in some relationships that didn't work.
Oh, that too. So
And
lived experience.
now I also had one that worked.
That worked.
So we can bring all these experiences.
And draw parallels from those that worked to
good.
those that didn't. I think one of the things that I appreciate about life today is that you can educate yourself, especially on things that they don't teach you in school.
Yes.
You know, like how to be a wife, how to be a mother, how to be a good husband,
How to manage your
how
finances.
to manage your finances, how to be a leader.
How to deal with stress.
And there's so much information. I mean, someone has written books. We are here on this channel, really educating you for free. So we want to get into this conversation on, you know, how to know that your fiance is not ready or might not be ready for marriage. Yeah. And welcome, Dr. Evers.
Thank you
Good
so
to
much.
have you back again.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I think a good starting point is, what does being ready for marriage actually mean? I think let's try and highlight what that means, and we'll start with you, Sam.
I thought we were going to start with ladies first. But
No, we have this thing on the show where we begin with our guests. We give them the honor that's due.
I hear you.
Yeah.
All right. So I put it here in one of the chapters about being sure concerning somebody's readiness.
Okay.
And I will summarize it into 4 things. Number 1 is emotional readiness. When we talk about readiness, the first aspect is emotional readiness.
Okay.
Is this person, are you emotionally strong enough to handle the intricacies of a relationship? If you were attacked, can you handle it emotionally? Because that is likely to come with a package of relating. Are you able to handle that? Or as a young girl at the university, you're going to apply for a dead year just because you've been attacked. So emotionally, are you able? If you catch that girlfriend cheating on you, my brother, are you going to be able to handle that, or you're going to be an emotional roller coaster wreck or volcano? So emotional readiness. Readiness is about the emotional capacity to deal with the ins and outs of a relationship. But the second aspect of readiness is mental. It's mental. Mental strength. You can as well call it maturity, really. The way somebody thinks. What do you think about women? What do you think about men? What do you think about marriage as an institution? What do you think about money? What do you think about life? What do you think about the future? What do you think about parenting and children? What are your thoughts? Are you mentally mature enough to deal with issues of relationships appropriately? And then the third aspect of readiness has something to do with responsibility. Are you in for what it takes for you to be in a relationship and continue into a marriage?
Yeah.
This brings in aspects of resources. Do you have a job, for example? If you don't have a job, do you have some quite stable income?
Saving.
Because you're going to get into a relationship with somebody's daughter, and before you know it, you are getting into marriage. Are you going to be telling her to fast every day because you have no food? Say, hallelujah, let's fast. Then tomorrow is also a fast to know what the Lord is saying. No, there has to be food on the table. So are you ready for responsibility that comes with a relationship that grows into a marriage? And the final aspect I see with readiness has something to do with the spiritual world. Okay. Are you spiritually convinced that this is the time for you to get into this?
Yeah.
People get into the spiritual aspect when they, you need school fees, you need money for this. But when it comes to the spouses they run away from the spiritual realities. They don't know that there is a lot spiritual about the relationship than there is physical.
That's true.
So those are the 4 aspects I see concerning what we are calling readiness. The mental aspect, maturity, how you think, the emotional aspect, your feelings and all that, then the aspect of readiness for responsibility, and then in the world of the spirit.
With the spirit. Awesome. I like the summary. Yeah.
No, so it's always very easy to have Sam on the show.
He does have your work.
He does. Yeah, so no, Sam has perfectly put it. I think what I'll add is marriage is a promotion. It's graduation from single life. So it's a whole shift in the mindset. It is accommodating another person in your personal space,
Very
in
private
your private
space.
space. And so it is a graduation from being alone to being with someone. And so it comes with so much relational dynamics.
Yeah.
So what Sam is talking about, for me, I'll add, it is readiness to accommodate another person in your life. right? And in the most intimate and private part of your life, it is that. It is commitment to a relationship. Now, what Sam mentioned, I like that you talked about that you were in some relationships that didn't work. Then you got into one that worked.
Yeah.
Now, what happens is that the way relationships are handled, I've told people that relationships have levels and different dynamics. If I'm in a relationship with Rachel and she does something, and somehow we cannot have this relationship, I'm going to hurt, you see, because there is an attachment, there's an emotional attachment. But you see, if it's not the same way as I would separate from my husband.
Yeah.
Right? The effect is different.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, readiness for marriage, it is people committing to this very key intimate relationship. Rachel, you know that on this show, I've helped our viewers to understand that this is not some casual, random relationship. It is divine. It's divinely intricate. It is so key. It's core that it contributes 80% to our health.
Yeah.
So if you do not handle it well, it actually loses the same amount of health. You see? Now the thing is, do you understand? Do you not understand what you're committing to? And so if you have been handling relationships, you've had people say, you know, I've left them. I'm done with them. I've blocked them. But this is a long-term relationship. So are you ready for that? Irrespective of what happens, are you ready? Do you have that kind of readiness to know this one? I'm committing to building it. You see, it's a building project.
I'm in for the long
I'm
haul.
in for the, yes. So I'm in for, so that's the readiness, because commitment is one of the core, the fundamental aspects of relationships.
Yeah.
And so are you really committed? And of course, you know what we are seeing on the market.
Yes.
People are in, they are not in,
not
they're there. They said, how did I end up here? And so do you understand what you're committing to? This is long term. Now, when we say long term, what does it mean? It means that it's not going to be easy, but I'm going to work. Okay, there's going to be a lot of work.
Yeah.
So are you ready for that? Are you ready for that? Are you ready for the responsibilities?
Yeah.
You see? Because every level requires a different you.
Yeah.
So when we talk about readiness, it's and of course you've heard me talk about people living single lives in marriage. Are you just viewing it as a function, a ceremony, wedding? That's your concept of marriage. And you say, I'm ready. I have the money. I have friends. They will contribute. I have all this. And I have. But are you seeing it in terms of only that? What is the responsibility in terms of relationship management? You see? Now, I remember, I've never forgotten, one time I was invited to speak to a group of men. And you know that I have a very soft spot for men. I'm actually
And
not
we
just,
appreciate you.
yes, not just a soft spot, by the way. I am so burdened for men as leaders, and then how the world has really left them behind, and then they come back and say, what's wrong with you?
Exactly.
So one time I was invited by men to talk to them about, I don't know what, I think parenting or balancing work and life. And then a new guy came in. He had just been married 1 month. When he entered like this, the men that I was standing with, they said, welcome to prison.
Oh my goodness.
Prison. Wow.
I was so heartbroken.
Yeah.
So I turned and said, what do you mean? They said, he just got married.
Wow.
I said, what? And so it's prison? So we engaged in a conversation. They said, Mom, honestly, it's prison. Look, we've lost freedom. We've lost this, we've lost that. Women are just, you cannot have any. Now, the thing is, responsibility. Because you have been single. So are you ready to now accommodate someone
else.
and know that that person has needs, and you're going to have to meet those needs
Yeah.
for
the rest of your
for
life.
the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Or are you going to view it as prison?
burden.
As a burden.
As a burden.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to add. I mean, you've talked about the emotional readiness, the all that, and so I think for me it is relational readiness. Am I ready to manage this? What happens? Am I ready? Do I know that we are likely to conflict? Do I know how do I handle that and still be married? And by the way, let me tell you also the challenge that comes with that next level.
Yes.
You see, like now I'm aging, yeah, and aging also comes with its own dynamics. When I was studying therapy or clinical psychology, we studied so many things: psychology of crime, psychology, but we also studied psychology of aging.
Okay.
It's different. We have psychology of marriage, and all that is there. But now, do people understand that this level has its own dynamics? You're likely to deal with so many things. Think about when we are getting married. We say, oh, when I get married, we are going to have 4 children, 5 children. Then after that, there are going to be 2 girls, 2 boys. You understand? How about you get married and you spend 13 years without children?
Children.
What is that? Have you thought about that?
Or you produce 7 boys or 7
or
girls.
7 girls, you understand? Yes.
You were busy saying 2
Are you
girls,
talking
2
about
girls.
me?
Because this happens.
Yes,
This happens.
and so do people think beyond that, or do they say, oh, it's a wedding and I'm in love and all that? So that kind of readiness, what happens? Supposing this happens, and when we are doing premarital counseling, that's part of the preparation we do. Have you thought about this? How about you have a childless marriage? What will happen? Then people go like, you see? Yes,
It's a
but it is a
possibility.
possibility. How about your partner? It's an accident and they don't have the kind of beautiful legs they used to have.
Yeah.
You understand? So at that level, how do you manage that? It's a whole management dynamic. It's a whole management platform. Are people ready for that?
Exactly.
And I think, interestingly, with life and with marriage, sometimes it's difficult to have all the scenarios played out for you before you make that decision.
Oh yes, that's why they give you a certificate on the wedding day.
Not at
Not
the
after you've
end.
wo- eh?
you know?
Certificate of practice.
They give you the
practice.
certificate
Yes.
on the wedding day,
Yeah.
and you are wondering what are they rewarding you for. In education, you
Yeah.
first sit the paper, you pass
You
it, you are
pass, you
given a
excel.
certificate.
Yes.
But in a marriage, you first get the certificate, then you
Then
go to
you
learn
go
the
to
lessons
practicals.
and do the do the
That is
exams.
so true. But I think to your point on just being mentally ready.
Yes.
And knowing that anything can happen, and then being ready for that anything. You may be shocked,
what may.
come what may. And it speaks to the commitment as well. Is it possible to love someone and still not be ready to marry them? Maybe why or why not? Is it possible to love someone and still not be ready to marry them?
The quick thought that just dropped in my mind
Yeah.
is generally a yes.
Yes,
It's possible.
yeah.
It's possible to love someone, but not you are not ready for marriage.
Okay.
Because whereas we can look at love at a higher level and
Yeah.
define it as commitment, look at love as decision. At a lower level, we can look at love as a feeling.
As a
also.
feeling, yes.
And if your love is only a feeling, it won't wither the times. You know. But let's look at it because at the beginning, honestly, it's more of a feeling thing. You look at her, she rolls her eyes. You look
Makes
at
you happy.
chubby cheeks or whatever it is that makes you.
Yes.
Then you say, "Wow, I am in love." You hear somebody say, "I'm
Yes,
in
I'm
love."
in love.
They even say, "I have fallen in love." In this book, I say that's very dangerous. It's dangerous to
fall
fall
in
in
love.
because when was the last time you fell down and you remained there?
remained
Whenever
there.
you fall, you quickly come
have
up
to
out
get
of.
up,
So
yeah.
you better learn how to walk into love. So yes, you can love someone, especially from the angle of having good feelings of affection towards somebody, but when you're not yet ready for
Ready.
marriage, for example, mentally, emotionally, responsibility-wise, to mention about a few. It's a yes
Spiritual.
from where I start.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Rachel, yes, you can love someone and you're not ready to marry them for various reasons. And one of the things I always encourage people in relationships is always to determine the goal behind their relationship. There's no relationship in this world that doesn't have a goal holding it. Because if I'm in a relationship with Sam, whatever it is, he's my colleague. We learn a lot. We do a lot of work together. I'm in a relationship with Rachel. We started as partners here, but kept
We're
connecting.
friends. Yeah.
Now, if you ask me how many goals surround our relationship, there could be many.
Yeah.
But I want to tell you that we connected for a reason.
Yeah.
There is a reason why we connect. Whether that goal is the same for both partners is an issue. It's a totally different conversation. And that's why whenever, again, I'm doing premarital counseling, the first question I ask, what are you up to? What is this relationship up to? And then you'll find, especially when they are fighting, he's delaying, he can't commit, then you find that they have totally different relationship goals. There's a time I was doing premarital counseling, and this couple, one of them was saying, me, I want to get married. I didn't get into relationships. I'm ready to get married. The partner was saying, I asked them, what's your relationship goal? He said, just for just. Just for just.
Yeah.
But I love her company. You see?
So it's for company.
It's for company.
Nice
That's
friendship.
the goal. Yes.
That's the goal, not to marry her.
I just
Yeah.
love to be around her. And that's it. Now, you can put this person on pressure and say, we need to get married, we are introduced. That's not his goal. His goal is just to probably move around with some beautiful girl and be seen with her. And that's it.
Okay.
Yes. Or the girl is saying, I'm still not yet ready. You see, I'm still not yet ready. So that you can, yes, you can.
You can.
Yes, you
You
can.
absolutely can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or genuinely, you're not ready. Actually, you don't have your finances ready. You don't have the. You feel like you're not in some emotional state ready. So there are so many
But
things.
you love this
but you
person.
love
You
the
do love
person.
them. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we shouldn't demonize people who are in relationships and they're not popping the question.
Yes. And you think they don't
And
love
you think
the
they
person.
don't love the person. Okay. I wanted
Though
to.
they are those who actually don't love them. So
It's also possible,
Yes,
yes,
yes.
to love the person, and then also that speaks to readiness for
you
marriage.
may not be ready for marriage. You also truly don't love
Don't
this
love
person.
this person,
Yeah.
or the goal of
Yeah.
you being in a relationship with them
Yes.
differs.
It's not long term.
It's not long
in
term.
nature.
Yes, it's not long term. Okay, for the person who has picked their cup of coffee and they're in a relationship, they're saying, "I want here because
I hope there are some popcorn
my fiance has been displaying certain, signs. Let's talk emotional, behavioral signs that a fiance might not be ready for marriage, even if they say they are. What are some of those things that are displayed in relationships that, the person in the relationship would say, maybe based on how I see my person behaving or how I'm behaving, I don't think I'm ready for marriage.
I will share something from this angle of the way I see him or her, not from the angle of the way I see myself. But the other person. How do you tell the other person is
Not ready.
This one is not ready. You're wasting time.
Yeah.
You're wasting time.
Yeah.
The biggest red flag for me is that person avoids talking about marriage. You are in this relationship, it's a relationship, you think you're heading into the future, but he or she avoids talking about marriage. Every time you bring up a conversation on marriage, he or she changes the subject or shows discomfort when the marriage is mentioned. That's a red flag.
Yeah.
That person is not ready.
Yeah.
Most likely, he or she is playing a game with you. Because if you are ready for marriage, how come you don't want us to talk about marriage?
Yeah.
It's an irony.
Yeah.
It's paradoxical. It is ironic. It's
Doesn't make
oxymoronic.
sense. Yeah. All the big English words.
So that is a red flag number one.
Yeah.
When you bring up issues about marriage, person diverts the conversation or becomes very uncomfortable. The other red flag to know that somebody is not ready for marriage is that they prioritize freedom over commitment.
Okay.
Readiness for marriage prioritizes commitment over freedom.
Yeah.
And personal space.
And personal space and
That's true.
self-love, which is actually selfishness in many ways, but it is given a name
A
of
nice
self-love.
name.
A nice name. You know how we have good talent in giving nice names to bad
To
things.
bad things.
Instead of saying murder, you say abortion. Instead of saying thief, you say embezzle. It sounds nice.
Embezzle.
Instead of saying robber and robbery, you say corruption. It's like, so we have...
We're glamorizing. Yeah.
So prioritizing freedom over commitment. You find that this person is he values independence so much over building a life together. Then you know this is a red flag. This person is not ready for marriage. Let me add another red flag. Let me call it immaturity.
Okay.
Immaturity in a sense of this person displays childish behavior. This person lacks accountability. This person behaves so irresponsibly. You go out together at a restaurant, you have a date at a restaurant to take a cup of tea and chat through a few issues, and while you're there, he is shouting at the waiters and waitresses, or she is all over on her phone, distracted by everybody who is passing by. Childish, irresponsible behavior. Then you know this one is not ready. This one is not ready. I could as well add maybe one or two. Unresolved past issues, especially from the previous relationships.
Yes.
I remember something that happened. I moved from the city of Kampala and went down up country, down south. I was going for some conference, so I went with some gentleman who was my friend. Reaching there, there was a friend that side that I knew for many years. So I called her and I say, hey, I am here at this place. Please come, I say hi to you. It's been quite some time. So she comes, and when she comes, I introduce her to him, the young man I had come with from Kampala. I introduce him to her, the lady we had found there. For me, I think that's it, we are done. So we go on with the conference for 3 days and come back to Kampala. Before 3 months could come to the end, I heard rumors that the two were going to get married.
What? Love at first sight?
I heard rumors that the two
We're getting married.
were going to get married after 2 months of me introducing them to each other and moving away. I didn't know they exchanged contacts. I didn't know they kept talking. I didn't know they loved each other. I didn't know they... So what I did, Rachel, I invited them, both of them, because both of them were my friends. I invited them, I met them somewhere in the city of Kampala in a place called Kamocha on Tagore Crescent where I was living at that time. This is about 18 years ago or so.
Oh, okay.
About 17, 18 years ago. So I said, I know you, my brother. I know you, my sister. Why are you rushing into this thing called marriage?
Yeah.
Do you really even know each other? You don't know each other. It was the lady who quickly said, no, I know him. Then I said, okay, let me prove to you that you don't. Where does he work? And then she mentioned the place, and it was the right place.
Okay.
Then I said, okay, what is his position there? She didn't know. I said, where does he come from? She said, I said, which district does he come from?
Yeah.
And she said, Teso. I said, is Teso a district?
It's an area,
Then
a region.
Then I said, my second reason why I am uncomfortable with what you're doing, which is the reason I remember at this point, you have emotional baggage you haven't dealt with, and you are rushing into this relationship. I said, let me now spill
The beans.
in case you have not opened up to each other.
Yeah.
I looked at the girl. I said, about 2 months ago, you came to Kampala. You stayed in our home, my wife and I, we hosted you. And you had come for 2 reasons. Number 1, for an interview for a job in Anatete. And number 2, to check on your boyfriend in Murago. When did you break up with
him?
Oh my God.
Then she said, I wanted to call him this evening, tell him that we can't go on. But you are preparing a marriage in the next how many weeks with this other person?
Oh dear
Then
Lord.
I turned to the young man. I said, I know you. The other time you brought your girlfriend at church for prayer, she was demon possessed. You wanted. When did you stop that relationship?
Yes.
And he said, last week I told him. So I said, that's exactly my point. You still have emotional baggage from your relationships that are not even previous. They are still current.
Yes.
But now you are in this relationship. So you know that somebody is not ready if they still have unresolved past emotional issues from the previous relationships.
Yeah. And can I add that the emotional baggage might even be a year plus
Yes.
in the past,
Yes.
but it still creeps up in your current
Even
relationship.
3 years, even 4 years.
There are still signs, you know.
Oh, yeah,
this
you have not
person,
overcome,
he's
not
still in
moved on.
touch with his ex, and like there are no boundaries, or you know, he still gets agitated. You know, he's following up on the ex,
Exactly.
you know, on social media.
And the moment that happens,
Yeah.
I want to equate it with what I wrote in Someone to Love.
Yeah.
I said, always keeping in touch and hobnobbing with your ex is like, hey, when you are all over him or her like a skin rush. It's like making a sugar cane, you are walking stick on a sunny day. Before you know it, you will be thirsty and you will eat it.
Because it's what's available.
Really? Skin rush.
Goodness, like a skin rush. Yeah. No, but you make a lot of sense, especially on the emotional baggage. I think that's because it seems invisible, it kind of manifests from time to time in the relationship. Sometimes we think that has been dealt with, it's
Yes.
in the past. It's in
Yes.
the past because it happened 1 year ago,
Exactly.
3 years ago.
Yes.
But it's still very current because
Yes.
it's manifesting in the relationship.
Rachel, many just bottle it up.
Yes.
I remember another thing that happened to a friend I know very briefly. She was in a relationship which didn't work out, and it did not work out only on grounds of culture and tribe. Oh, I discovered he's my clansman, those kinds of things.
Okay.
But they really loved each other. Now, I meet her at a hotel lobby, and we are seated there, we are chatting, and she says, you know, I went through that, it was tough, but you know, Sam, I moved on, I'm now okay, I healed from it. And I was looking at her carefully. You know, as a public speaking trainer also, I know the power of non-verbal communication. So I was looking at the non-verbal and I could see that she had not moved on. So I just kept quiet, she talked, and while she was talking, she broke down and started crying.
Oh my goodness.
So what I did, I said, don't stop crying, please go ahead. Let me just excuse myself for about 10 minutes. I will be back. Because I was again wondering,
what
I am
do
at
I
a
do?
hotel in Nairobi, people are passing by and they see me with a girl crying.
They might think you've upset her.
Yes, so I moved away and after like 10 minutes I came back, and when I came back she was wiping away the tears while laughing, saying, I don't know what happened to me. I said, for me, I know what happened to you. You thought you had moved on, but all you did was to bottle up the emotions. You did not get healed.
Yeah.
So the fact that it is 1 year ago
or 10 years ago,
10 years doesn't exactly mean you moved on.
No.
It can be 10 years of bottled up pain.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Dr. Evers, do you have any additions?
I want to make an addition to commitment because I've mentioned and I believe and I know that commitment is key. It's actually the thing.
It is.
It's the thing because if we are starting any relationship, any partnership, there has to be commitment. And so whenever there is resistance to commitment, and resistance to commitment can manifest in so many ways, like what Sam has mentioned. Someone is not ready to let go of their other relationships, you know, and still, skin rush.
Still all over.
Sam, you're so bad. Okay, so they are not ready to let go of their previous relationship. It's so bad. It's actually, it's so painful. I've witnessed it with people who are struggling with it. Someone is saying, I want to marry you, but then they are still hanging on to the previous relationships. And they are saying, oh, you know, I'm worried. Are you sure you, because that means they have one foot here, another foot here, and they are not ready to commit to one relationship.
Double-minded.
They are double-minded in all ways, like the Bible says. Yes. But it's therefore important because, unfortunately, we overlook such red flags. People say, it's okay, it's me they love. And then they fight. Is it me you love? Is it the other one? Oh, why don't you tell them? I'm still trying to tell them. You know, that kind of, they're failing to commit to exclusivity. You see, exclusivity is key. So that
you are polygamous minded.
that's true.
Yeah.
Or you're actually, it points to a number of things that you're also not ready to have closure on certain things, and it's not a good element. Because if you could be in a turbulent relationship, it's not working. But then the challenge is you don't know how to make a decision. It can point to the fact that you don't know, you're not good at making decisions. If you're stuck and you're saying, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. But now you are in another relationship.
Yes.
Interestingly, we have such relationships where now you haven't broken the previous one, now you are in this one. And then sometimes, of course, there is gullibility in relationships because this person now trusts you, says, yeah, I think it's me they love. And then before you know, they are pregnant. You see? So the person is just here, two-legged, and they are not. That means they are not ready for a relation. Please don't commit to certain things. Don't act wife or husband.
Yes,
They are
when
not
you're still
ready.
boyfriend and
When you still have someone has another relationship. So I'm talking about resistance to commitment. It could also manifest in how someone fears marriage.
yes.
And they verbalize it. I was talking to someone last evening and they said, Mom, I just fear marriage. I just fear marriage. But they are planning to get married. He said, I see what my friends are going through. But then they are going to get married. They are like, this person is putting me on pressure, but me, I also don't think I believe in marriage so much because, but then you want
They're
to get,
planning
they're
to get
not
married.
ready.
Yeah.
They have unresolved pains
Yes.
and traumas.
That's the
And
level
And
of
I got
unpreparedness.
interested to ask them, well, have you gone through some traumatic experiences? And by the way, people go through them.
Yes.
They go through them. And he gladly shared. He sat down and he gladly shared. And when he shared, clearly he has pain. So I told him, I said, you've had a past experience, but you don't have to live in the past. I asked him how many past things he has gone through and whether he's gotten stuck in them. And turns out that he has been able to move on. He had a business partnership. I asked him about partnerships that have not worked before. And I said, when this business failed, what did you do? I started another one. How do you? They said, I said, no, you can't get stuck.
You can get stuck, yeah.
You can't get stuck. And you can't say every business partner is terrible. There could be those that actually can align with you.
Sometimes you're the problem in that relationship.
Absolutely.
It's possible.
And I asked him actually, I said, what lessons did you learn from that relationship? And then he kept saying, oh, my partner was this. Oh, she was oh, she did it. Oh, she denied me sex. Oh, she. But then I asked him a question. I said, how about you? If you were to get into another relationship, what would you do differently? And I realized that he hadn't taken time to ask himself that question.
Yeah.
So that you have someone who is hesitant, they fear marriage, they actually verbalize it. And then you're getting married.
Yeah.
That could be a really a terrible sign. Now, still on commitment, there's what they call too soon mentality. You have been dating someone for 5 years and you're saying, come on, we've invested 5 years. Let's formalize this. And they say, it's too soon.
Why are you hurrying?
Why are you hurrying?
Why are you hurrying? Actually, it happened to a couple I know. I don't know whether those who are relating are also called couples before they get
They
married.
are.
Couples. Okay, couples. Unmarried, not yet married couples. The lady was the one who was wanting, who did not want things to progress to the next level. The young man was the one who wanted to take this to the next level.
Yes.
And that reminds me of one other red flag.
flag.
Now, for her, she was hiding all her friends and family members. The young man wanted to always go and check out, say, I want to check out
meet
your
your
mom. You always tell me
Yeah.
about your mom. I
Yeah.
don't know any of your sisters. I don't know any of your brothers. I don't know. And these were now 4 years into the relationship.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I got to know all this story because the young man came to me to tell me that he is stopping the relationship. Because both of them were known to me. We were a part of some forum together. So I go and now talk with the other lady. I talk with the girl. I say,
What's the
so and so
issue?
is saying these are now 4 years. He doesn't know any of your friends.
Your family.
Your family. He has requested you to visit
meet
home,
them.
just check on mom, and you have refused. What's the problem?
That's a
The
red
guy-
flag.
You're losing him. The guy is going. I
Yeah.
said, do you really love him?
Yeah.
And she said, yeah, I really love him. I said, then what's the
However-
issue? And then she opened up. She says, many times when I'm at home, mom keeps saying, this was a single mom, mom keeps saying, my daughter, I pray for you. That the day you get to marry, you get married to a tall guy who is big, who drives, who has wealth, so that you will not suffer. And now behold, here was my brother. He was short, small, and poor. So she tells me that she was buying time so that maybe the guy can get a little taller and a little more money before she can introduce him to the parents.
She wasn't comfortable with him.
With
You see?
him,
She
yes.
couldn't speak for him. She couldn't market him. She could not speak to
Yes,
the mom
yes.
out of conviction.
Yeah, that this
I've
is the
met
guy
this
I love.
person. I believe in him.
Yes.
He doesn't have as much money as you thought they would have. But you see, I'm comfortable with him.
It's
And
a
there
heart
is
issue.
something. There's something I love about him.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the long story
So,
short. They did not
They
continue
didn't.
with the relationship. These
Yeah.
are many years down the road. I won't mention the years. They are now many years down the road. The guy is married with some children. The lady is still there.
Still there.
Yes.
and you see, that's dishonesty. And it's a real struggle, to
It
be
is,
honest
it
with you.
is.
Now, this is not something you tell your partner and say, you see, guy, I can't take you because you're short, small, and you can't. Which is unfortunate, because then we need to love people for who they are. You see, we need to love people for who they are. So if you have to wait until they get rich, that's a delaying tactic.
What if they are rich and then later even the riches go
they lose
away?
the
So
riches.
what
That's the
happens
thing,
again?
but you see, the riches, that's achievable, but you can't change your height. You see? So that's very unfortunate. No, that's a good point, that
Yeah.
you don't want to show them off.
Yeah.
And you know
It's a
what
red
that
flag.
means, because we all need the world to validate our partners, and especially our families. So if they don't show, I mean, I know a couple that they got married, and this lady had never met any of the guy's relatives.
Yes.
Now, that's what we have talked about, Rachel, where someone says, me, I'm just marrying this person. And I've told, let me repeat it. When you marry someone, you marry everything around them. You
Their
marry their
family.
family, you marry their
Their
community.
sisters, their brothers, they
You marry
are part of the
you
bond.
marry their
They are
struggles,
body
you
members.
marry
Everything.
They are
They are
both
both
Telling
members.
you, they will determine some decisions in your home, in your marriage.
100%. So that is a big point.
Yeah.
But Rachel, I wanted to add something which I have seen. It is also called emotional distance and withdrawal. Emotional distance, you want to marry someone, but they don't want to be in your space, or they don't want you in their space. So there is decreased affection. And when I say affection, I'm not talking about affection and intimacy. I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about just connection.
Yeah.
Just because, I can't tell you when I was dating Rachel. Oh,
Tell us.
man, what are you saying? I want to hear that.
Yes.
Oh my God. We were both at uni,
Yes.
but we wanted to be in each other's space.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we did some courses together, and so we when you are in this class and he hasn't come, then you're looking around when they come.
Then
There
you're
is
happy, you're
something that's
relaxed.
natural,
Yeah.
and you want to see each other, but you're dating and you don't want to see each other.
Too busy for each other.
No, someone has they don't want you to be in their space, and they are asking. And I've met so many of these couples.
It's actually a very common concept in the generation today to hide their partners. I'm told the phrase is private until permanent. So they are relating, they're having a relationship, but I guess until the person decides that you are the one I'm going to marry, maybe he's playing some games. I honestly don't understand the concept of privacy.
One of the reasons
Yeah.
is because they have multiple.
I agree.
They have multiple
Yeah.
people they are relating with.
Yeah.
So they want to keep playing them in privacy,
privacy,
until
yeah.
they finally settle on one, then they dump the others. So they break some 3 hearts in order to go with this one
go
heart.
But
with
do you
the
know
one.
that they don't even move on? Because unfortunately, when they break hearts, you can discard them and settle with one. And I'm sure you have seen this drama on the weddings, people who disappear on wedding nights. Sijui, they are going to conclude a relationship somewhere. It is so
chaos,
bad. It's
yeah.
chaos.
It's
I
chaos.
want to, by the way, let me repeat this, Rachel. We need to love ourselves well enough to avoid such stresses. Because if you're running multiple relationships, you're committing decent suicide. It's it's decent suicide. Because now you're here, you're lying to this person.
Yeah.
Every lie triggers stress. You
It
see?
is self-inflicted
It's a
type of stress
self-inflicted pain.
that is not
And
environmental
then-
in nature.
Yeah, so you're not yet conclusive. That's why commitment is important. That's why closure is important. If you're not ready to leave a certain relationship, then be there.
Don't start another one.
Don't start
Don't start
another one.
another
If you
one.
start another one, you're committing suicide.
Yeah.
It's actually decent.
Yeah,
No one sees, there's no rope, visible rope, but it's a rope around your neck. Now, when such a person is running this, some people by there, they have 4, 5. Here, lie here, lie
happens.
there.
We used to call them combiners in high school.
Combiners.
Now, those combiners, when they leave them, the point I was going to make, when they leave them, most of the time they leave with unfinished business.
Of course.
They live with unfinished business. They've probably covered it with some lie, temporal lie, and then they move. They wait. But after, they go back.
They
Go
go
back to finish the
back.
business.
Yes, that is so true.
Sometimes the business finishes
Finishes
them in the process.
them. That's so true.
Now, that's what happens.
Yeah.
So why we encourage, please, if you are committed to this relation, don't spread your wings too much. You're going to be confused.
Consolidate.
Consolidate. You see? If you're committing to this, it's for your own sanity, it's for your own health. It's relational health is important. If you mismanage it, you're going to have a problem.
That is so true. And I think as I hear both of you speak, what I'm hearing is a level of self-awareness, but also awareness of that the person you're in a relationship with, listening to those cues. Because if you're in a relationship with someone who keeps saying, oh, I fear marriage, I fear marriage, but you're still walking towards the aisle, I think the joke is on you.
The joke is on you, really.
Yeah, not on the one who is fearing marriage.
And especially if they have said it more than once.
Yeah.
They say it once, it can be a joke.
It can be a joke,
you know. They say if you sleep in a certain place
Yeah.
and fall down
Yeah.
first time,
Yeah.
you're not the one to blame.
Yeah.
It was slippery.
Yep.
If you come and fall down in the same place the second time,
Yeah.
maybe
Chances.
it's again not you,
But maybe it is you.
but the third time,
Surely.
you are purely to blame.
No, that's
really
right.
are. You
That's
really are.
absolute, and that's why we are sharing this. If you're in such a relationship with someone and they are telling you, please believe them.
Yeah.
Believe them.
Yeah.
There is this saying that if someone shows you their true colors, please don't
Believe
try to
them.
repaint them.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you repaint them, then it is you, indeed, because they are not ready.
Soon your paint will peel off and the true colors will
And the
still
true
surface.
colors
That
will
is
still
true.
surface. Now,
That is true.
Rich, I also wanted to say something about joint planning.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you're dating someone and they don't accommodate you in their plans, you still hear, me, I'm going to do this, me, I'm going to do that. Then you're like,
Me in the future, me, I
in the
am
future,
brave.
me.
I will.
There's no we in the picture.
yes, and so that's a signal of lack of commitment, by the way. Yeah, because it means that someone is not ready to have you in their space.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So there is no joint planning. And again, I've met this in my counseling room where people are saying, I only hear him or hear her talk about her things or his things, but they are not involving me. Now, where is the partnership? Because marriage is a partnership.
That's true.
And so if they are not inviting you in their thing, then most likely they are not ready.
Yeah.
Dr. Evers, let me digress intentionally, just for half a minute. We had a conversation yesterday. We were somewhere at a place, and one thing that is related with what you just talked about is now later in marriage, whereby you women, you keep saying, you know, my children. And we the men are wondering, hey, you went to the supermarket and bought them. I thought they are our children. But I think it begins when they are
with
related. You have that way of
That
thinking.
my-
That even later in marriage it is my money, my children, my
property.
So back to your
Me,
point.
I'm going to buy my things. Actually, in future, I want to buy, I want to build,
buy.
I want to. But then
Yeah.
where is the partnership?
Yes.
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 And maybe one more about trust and honesty. Yeah? Because there are so many people in relationships where they are dealing with somebody's secret life and they are not ready to let you in.
That's true.
on a number
Yeah.
of things.
Yeah.
You ask this, and of course it could be even at family level. Why do you want to know my family? It's you I'm loving. It's our marriage. We are going to start our own
Our
family.
own family.
But then it's also when we are doing premarital counseling, we encourage people, be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You need to open your past and clean it up and be honest, because let me tell you, cover it, it's going to spill into
Eventually.
eventually.
Yeah.
And so they don't want to talk about something. Well, have you ever been in a relation? Finances, that's my life. And this and that's one. So then what?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
personal, or it's independence. We call it independence. You want to be married and independent at the same time? Well, a little bit of independence needed in marriage, but come on. Ooh, you have already given in to this partnership.
That's
You
true.
cannot, you're going to have joint signatures. You know, why I'm talking about that, I used to run a company alone, and I was enjoying signing alone. Eventually, I got partners. And now I want to sign and go pick mine. I say, oh, it has to be joint signatures.
Yeah.
Now, in marriage, they're going to be joint signatures in so many ways. You see, you cannot run it alone. You can't be married and single at the same time. You cannot. You can't be.
Yeah.
You can't be. You're either causing pain to yourself or to your partner, or both of you. You're hurting the relationship. You cannot be married and single at the same time.
Yes.
It can't happen.
No, it can't.
It can't.
That's I was having a conversation with a friend last week, and they were saying how his wife suggested and said, I think for every person intending to be married should undergo some sort of cleansing or healing of their past emotional traumas and baggage, because I think that a lot of the things that affect us in our marriages are coming from that baggage.
Yeah, they are skeletons.
They are skeletons from yesterday. You know, I mean, you were talking with you about polygamy, and you know, you were talking to us about your past. I'm sure there are certain parts of it that kind of seeped through your marriage that you had to deal with. You know, yeah. And I think maybe let's talk about the role of self-awareness, because the readiness might be you. You know, you might have picked your cup of coffee to say, let me see if my fiancé is ready. And yet you are the one who is not ready, you know. Let's talk about the role of self-awareness in understanding if you are ready. So maybe what are some of those things that are displayed emotionally or in a behavioral way that would speak to you to say, Rachel, you think you are ready, but maybe you are not. I could give an example, like anger outbursts. You don't know how to manage, and I think it goes back to some of the readiness aspects you were talking about. But yeah, let's talk about self-awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is nugget number 12
Okay.
in Someone to Love, where I talked about the 16 questions for deeper self-awareness before you get into a relationship. And I say you need to be more aware of yourself
Yeah.
so that you're able to know how to deal with the other person and then how to deal with your shared space. And self-awareness, I suggested things like you need to ask yourself, what are my moral standards that I cannot compromise? Are you aware of your moral standards that you can't compromise? Question 2, what do I value in life that should take my priority in the form of time, energy, and money? What do I value in life?
In
Me.
life, yeah.
What do I need to be aware of myself in that area. Question number 3, what are the fundamental principles around which my life rotates?
That's true.
So that if the other person comes and is overstepping those kinds of boundaries
You
of
can
the
tell.
fundamental principles that I strongly espouse, then I know maybe there is a red flag here. This is about self-awareness.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know yourself, how will you know the other person?
Good question.
How will you know the other person?
Yeah.
I remember one time counseling a young girl. It was at some university somewhere. And as she was talking, I realized that what she was claiming was her problem was actually not her
Not
real problem.
hers, yeah.
Her real problem was that she didn't love herself and she wasn't aware. So I remember looking into her eyes and saying, Madam, if you don't love yourself, who will risk
will
and
risk
dare to
and
love
dare?
you?
Yes.
It begins with you loving yourself. So bringing it into this conversation, awareness. If you're not aware of yourself, how will you be aware of the other person?
The other person. Yeah.
Question number 4, what do I want to achieve in life in the short, medium, and long term? That should be an area of self-awareness. what are my unique strengths and particular weaknesses, especially when I'm relating with other people?
Yeah.
Self-awareness.
Yeah.
What does God say in His Word that I am? Who am I in His sight? Before I lose
Identity.
myself in a relationship.
Identity.
You see, self-awareness. What do I believe in concerning the different aspects of life, such as in matters of faith, matters of money, matters of marriage, parenting, career, making impact, etc. And so on and so forth. So those are some of the areas where you need to have self-awareness.
I like to say it's important for people to have meetings with themselves. I don't think we do that enough.
The me time.
Yes, and ask yourself those very deep questions and then have answers to them, because then that gives you like a compass for your life. But I find that so many of us, and this probably happens in like our 20s and 30s, so many of us are just kind of going with the wind, with trends, you know, with the one who has shown some interest in
TikTok
you.
shots.
Yes, you know, so somebody comes and you don't really have values. You don't have like a compass to know that I like this one I don't like. So you don't even know how to communicate what you don't like.
And that's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Because if you stand for nothing,
You'll
you
fall
will
for
fall for anything.
That's true. That's very true.
I want to give it another.
Please.
What I'm thinking about is when we say your partner may not be ready, your action should not necessarily be to run away and say they are not ready, so let me run.
That's true.
And where we started from, there are various reasons why someone may not be ready.
Yes.
For instance, I know men who would want to commit because they are not yet financially ready.
Yeah.
What do they need? They probably need an assurance that you're not really, that the issue is not money.
Yeah.
You see a future with them, and you give them that assurance.
Yeah.
So essentially, I'm saying, if your partner is not ready, the action should not necessarily be to run and say, this guy is not ready, or this lady is not ready, let me go. Or maybe they have unresolved traumas. You see, they are saying, all men are, you know, that maybe they got traumas either from their family or from the previous relationships or whoever. Look, relationships are ministry. They are a ministry area. It's service.
The other
It's
person, not
absolutely
yourself.
service.
Yes.
It's service to each other. And so, so I said this to add a question to what Sam said. That one of the questions should be, if I've seen that this person is not ready, why am I still in this relationship? And by the way, please don't look at that question as something negative. No, you have to ask yourself, probably you have seen that you can support them.
Discover your motivation.
Maybe you can discover your motivation. You have to check, why am I still in it? I see that I can support my partner. I see that the things that are holding them back are actually probably solvable. We can do them. But if they are foundational issues like lack of commitment, like someone stuck in multiple relationships, like all that, unfaithfulness, what my brother said here, those are important. You have to check these against your own value system. You know, what do I want in a relationship? Do I just want to go with everyone and maybe they are? That's why I always tell people, not every person you meet or that talks to you about marriage is a potential partner. Not everyone. Some of them, they just help
They'll
you
show you what you don't want.
Some of them actually, they help you to discover new restaurants.
Oh dear Lord.
Seriously. Serious, by the way. Not everyone you go out for coffee is going to be your partner. You see? So once you meet them, don't be stuck. There are people who say, I don't want to be seen with anyone. If I have to be seen with, that must be a partner. You see, this business, we negotiate business. You meet with someone, you realize how they run business, you're like, I don't think I want to partner with this person. So it is important for people, when there are people you're going to meet, they are ready, they are going, those you're going to meet, they are not ready. Now, the thing I always tell people is, please don't take this relationship to another level if you're not yet, you have not yet dealt with foundational issues.
Yes.
You see,
Exactly.
you're still trying to figure things out. Before you know, you have a child on the way.
Don't fly into the relationship. That's why you
Don't
end up
act.
falling in love.
You see,
That's true.
That's
Instead of
why I
walking
always
into it.
tell people, don't act husband and wife before you really are. You see,
True.
if you act, then you might be stuck. Because supposing you're dealing with someone and ready, and probably they need another 20 years to be ready, another 5 years to be ready. Are you ready for that?
And you have
Now
so
that's
far slept together 5 times.
100%, you have acted. That's a conversation for another
For
time.
another
But
day.
I want to tell you, friends, that it's important for us to determine readiness for marriage partnership.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
important. If you don't lay that foundation, it's going to hurt you.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting you bring that aspect up because it's also a common concept in today's relationships. And people have asked me before, how will this person know if I'm marriage material? And maybe those are slightly different conversations. If I'm marriage material, if I don't do certain things for them that show I am ready for marriage.
But that means it's like going to, I don't know, it's why do you have to prove yourself?
That's a good question.
You see,
Yeah.
why should someone put me on pressure to prove myself that
Yeah.
I'm marriage material? Make that judgment.
Yeah.
See me and say, I think this one,
There's something in this person.
there's something in this person. We can actually do life together.
Without me washing your
Our
clothes.
daughter is an engineer and she's into soil engineering.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm not an engineer, but she was talking to us about soil engineering. And I know that they test soils for certain buildings. You see? And so it is the same concept in marriage relationship. Test soil, but you don't have to test it by eating it. You see, you don't
There are
have,
other ways to
there
test.
are other ways to test.
Yeah.
So that's why we talk about meet, talk, have very tough conversations, have very forward-looking conversations. Don't just meet and say, oh my God, I love you, I love you. Oh man, the way you look, the way you look. Then you sip coffee and go. Next time you meet, oh my God, I can't believe. Oh, that's not, you have
You're
conversation.
not
This
relating.
is a very
Yeah.
big partnership. Come on, you've put in your life. You have you're going to put in your entire life, your
Yeah.
future,
Yeah.
your everything. So you can't just meet and say, you look, the eyes look
that's
good,
all,
the
that's all.
hair looks good.
Yeah, your TPH, like my wife calls me. So that,
So that
that's
kind
not
of-
enough.
You're going to have very serious partnership conversations. How are we going to handle finances? How are we going to, by the way, and it's not interrogating.
No.
It is from daily interaction
Yeah.
where you meet and say, by the way, can we talk about this?
What
When
are
we
your
get
thoughts
married,
on
what are your
this?
thoughts
Yeah.
on this?
How many children
How many
do
children?
you think we should produce?
Yes, no, that's important.
Yeah.
And then they'll tell you why I'm talking about the children
Uh-huh.
before you accept me. That's okay.
Yeah.
But you need to have those kinds of conversations, not just sit and talk about
Real issues.
Talk about real issues
Yeah.
and see their thoughts on that. Check their thoughts on how they think about men. Someone hates men, but they're going to marry them.
Oh dear.
Me, I hate men. There's no man I can trust. Me, all men are
All men
what
are
the crap.
unfaithful.
All
But they are
men
engaged to
weird.
be
All men-
married.
but you're going to marry them. So what do you think you're signing up for?
Yeah.
They are not yet healed
Yeah.
from pain that they experience. And don't run away if you think you have the grace to serve in that ministry
Yeah.
area.
Yeah.
You're probably divinely appointed to support them. You see,
Yeah.
I've had people who say, I'm in a wrong person, wrong partner. They might not be a wrong partner. The reason you're well and you're dealing with this hurting person could be because God has appointed you to do ministry in their lives.
But make
They
sure
don't
you're
wanna-
sure that God has appointed you.
100%.
Again, don't appoint
I
yourself.
appoint
Don't
100%.
appoint yourself. This business of preach, convert, and marry. You're not the Holy Spirit. You can't change. Some things have to let be. Let lying dogs lie.
You have to
Sleeping
have,
dogs.
seriously,
Yeah.
Sam,
Eh,
yes, you
be
have
sure.
to have that conviction.
Yes.
And you make sure that when you pray, you're not listening to yourself. You're not answering your own prayers.
Yeah.
Because, sometimes we pray and answer our own prayers.
That is
Or
very
we go
true.
to God with an answer to give us.
Yes.
Yes.
It happened to one of my cousin sisters. She was in a choir, in a church choir. She's a very lovely, beautiful young girl. This guy saw him saw her, and he decided to have his attack plan. He decided to join the choir. To join the choir at a certain church I won't mention. So after just about 2 weeks of being a member in the choir, he launches his manifesto on my cousin, Sister Maureen. And he says whatever he said.
The one.
But my cousin, Sister Maureen, is...
she's discerning.
Very discerning. So she said, you know what? Go back, first pray about it, be sure God is speaking to you. The guy goes back, 2 weeks, he comes back, he dramatized it. He said, I was there in the dream and I heard the voice of God saying, look back. And when I turned, I saw you. And the voice said, behold your wife.
Dear Lord.
Maureen said, you see, the problem you have is that when you went to him, you didn't go to ask for a name, you took their a name. So that's why I remembered when she said that. So you go with your answer.
That's right.
Go with your answer.
But in all honesty,
Yes.
If people viewed marriage as ministry, because I get people who say, I think I married the wrong person. I think because the whole concept of incompatibility, they think to be incompatible, you have to be the same. No, that's not what compatibility means. It means that actually you're ready to accommodate each other.
Yes.
You're ready to compromise on certain things. People hate compromise. They hate compromise. They think it's negative. No, you cannot be in marriage where you cannot make some compromises here and there. In any relationship, absolutely. And so if you're able to do that, you're not going to get someone that is exactly like you. That's what I always get. That we can't live together because we are different. I'm like, that's right. That's actually what it's supposed to be. So all that is important.
I want us to try and bring this to a close and support the person who is watching and either feels unready or they have noted that there are so many red flags that they can't ignore now. Is pausing an engagement. So I guess knowing when to walk away, knowing when I should pause and maybe talk to my fiancé and say, look, I am noticing A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I know that we are now engaged to be married, but I feel like you're not ready or I feel like I'm not ready. Maybe the strategy in this case is why don't we pause and give this some time? Maybe make our engagement slightly longer and see if some of these issues can be resolved. Or I don't think this is for me. How do you know when to walk away, when to pause the engagement? I think that's the question as we bring this to a close.
Let it begin with the aspect of the qualities.
Okay.
In Someone to Love, I talked about two things. I talked about the non-negotiable qualities and what I call the flexible qualities. It should begin before you ever meet anybody.
Yes.
It should begin by you knowing what it is that you're looking forward to having as your husband or your wife. It's okay to write down those non-negotiable qualities you want in a future wife, a future husband. And the non-negotiables are often not many. They could even be just two. It could be one. One major thing. They could be three. Flexibles could be 5, 7, 10, 15. Things you say, if as long as he has these three non-negotiables. These ones, it would be nice to find them in him or her, but if they're not there, as long as these two are there, we can always leave those ones out. So it begins from that place. Therefore, if you find that your point of divergence is on the non-negotiables, don't waste your time in the relationship. Move on as quickly as possible. Because now what you are dealing with is on the level of the non-negotiables.
Fundamental.
It's very fundamental. It's foundational. Relatedly, number two is the issue of values. If you realize that your point of divergence has come as a result of having very different values that are sometimes even contradictory to each other, then you don't have to waste time to say, let's see whether he can change his values or you can change, I can change mine. If you know you really believe in integrity, and here I'm not talking about the perfectionists who want everything to look heavenly. I'm talking about foundational values. Then you see the other person believes in cheating, believes in unfaithfulness, believes in lying, is always lying you about where they are.
No accountability.
But for you, you really believe in a life of integrity, that's foundational. Don't stay there. I mean, I told you that I was in some relationships before I got into the one that worked. I remember one specific one where there were clear signs that this is going nowhere, but I stayed around. You know how you start to tell yourself, everybody has a weakness, their issues, but this is a foundational issue.
Yes.
This is a fundamental problem.
Yes.
In fact, one time I went to her place of residence unannounced, and what I found her doing, that was the day when I was supposed to break this relationship. But you know how you keep saying, God will work on, you have funny dreams, and when you wake up, I cast the demons out. No, there is no demon. This is God showing you. There is a fundamental issue here.
Yeah.
Now, when would you want to buy more time? If it is not on the fundamental issues, maybe you want to buy some time. If it is a financial issue where somebody is still putting their finances together, and you see that they have a plan, though it hasn't materialized, then there you may want to buy some time, or even find a way to be of help, of support, share an idea, share a book to read that can help, go together for some seminar, and so on and so forth. And this should be in all aspects of life. I mean, my wife has never stopped laughing at something that I did when I was not yet married. Do you know that I went to a breastfeeding conference?
Okay, what was the motivation?
I was a single man. I went to a breastfeeding conference at one of the hotels in the city of Kampala. We were only 2 men in that room, and the second man was one of the facilitators. He was from the ministry. But I was that open to learn so that in case my wife to be later needs some help, we have this information. And that day I picked brochures on breastfeeding. I read through them. I took them home in my single man's room. I got to understand you're supposed to do exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months, not supposed to give the food. And let me tell you, when we gave birth to our daughter, Petra, the 9th of July, 2010, let me tell you, my wife used those brochures. I still have them.
Really?
So that's why I'm talking about, if it is an issue that is not so fundamental, foundational, I mean, you come along, be supportive as much as possible, if they are not fundamental issues.
That's very,
No,
very
that's right. As Sam mentioned, we have to have a standard.
Have some standards.
Have some standards.
Yeah.
You can't be in a relationship where you're a relationship that is run on other people's standards except yours.
It's deadly.
You see, and so what he's talking about, like you, what do you expect in this relationship? I've had some people give advice and say, get into a relationship with a blank page. I'm like, no, you can't. You can't. This is a partnership. You've seen that. Sometimes why these bilaterals are not working and people are just running on other people's visions is because they have nothing to expect.
That's true.
You cannot get into a relationship where you have nothing to expect.
Yeah.
Just tame the expectations, but have them.
Have them. Have them. Now, Sam, what he's talking about, the kind of self-awareness that each individual needs to have, and I like that you mentioned the fundamental qualities that I know that what I had, and I want to tell you I can't share them here. But there are certain
that
things
makes us more curious what they were.
so that you keep curious. But there are certain things you say, if they are this I cannot.
Yeah.
And you know that you cannot. Now, why am I emphasizing this? I've met people who have no non-negotiables. Like you have no non-negotiables. Anything passes, and so they are at the mercy of the person they are dating. They set a standard for you. And so you have nothing to gauge their behavior against. So you're there. If they drink, you say, oh, now they are drinking. And I ask people, so are you okay with that? No, I had planned never to marry someone who drinks.
But here we
are. Here we are.
Here we are.
So is that fundamental to you, or is it a flexible thing? Now, one of the things I wanted to chip in, Rachel, is the lie that I'll change them.
You, the Holy Spirit. You, Deputy Almighty.
I know, right?
Jesus.
Deputy Almighty.
Holy Spirit, Junior.
No, I'll change them we don't change people, we impact them, we influence them.
Yeah.
You could be an influence to your partner, but I also read something about relational impact. Apparently, I shared, I think years back when we started, Rachel, that any negative you see, it has an 80% chance of being worse,
Not better.
not better.
Yeah.
So you're likely running this on a risk of 80% being worse.
Being worse.
And not just worse, but you're likely to be pulled down. Right? For instance, we talked about religious differences here. You purpose that you wouldn't marry someone, you are a believer, you say, I will not marry someone who is a non-believer. Now, there are people who have married in that kind of arrangement, and you help someone to know Christ and to be better,
Well,
but the chance is that they are likely to make you a non-believer. The risk is higher, right? So also that, be careful. But if you're going to influence and minister to them and disciple them, for you to know that it's going to be a lot of work, are you ready for that?
And it better be before you marry them.
Yes.
Yes,
Sure, there's
yes,
something has
that
happened.
something
No,
has happened.
It could be actually that you're being appointed to that ministry ground, right? But you had been better be. It's a very slippery ground.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
Because that's why most people later on they say, no, this is too much for me. So the thing is, are you ready for that? Are you in partnership with the Lord to make them better? So be careful.
Maybe
Be
just
very, very
if that's the
careful.
case, then simply be their preacher. Don't be their husband or their wife.
Yes.
For me, on this, it's very slippery. We have to be extremely careful. This line of the Lord is bringing me to change them. It's a very
It
slippery
is so
ground.
slippery.
Yeah.
It's
Then
very
be the
slippery.
change agent in their life. No, you don't have to,
Before.
first of all, be their husband or their wife. But in case you're very sure God has spoken to you, who am I?
Yes.
Common man.
You see, that's I'm thinking about it because some relationships have already started,
Yes.
and they are there, and you actually are seeing the red flags after you have committed. You're in a relationship where your partner wasn't ready, but here you are.
Here you
You're
are.
in the marriage. You're
Life
dealing
has
with
happened.
all this. So that's why I was saying, should it happen that way, then you need to position yourself and help your partner and support them. Support them. Check what is making them unready. What are their fears?
Yes.
What is it? What is that? But if you haven't, then you need to, we have said a lot.
A lot. Yeah, you said a lot. I feel like we need to wrap this up. I'm going to give you the opportunity to give your parting shots to this conversation. I guess what you would want for somebody who maybe skipped through the show and they have come to the conclusion, if they were to take away something from this conversation, what would that be in terms of readiness for marriage or non-readiness for marriage?
okay.
Yeah, in a minute.
Two things. Number one, prepare for the marriage, not just the wedding.
The wedding.
Prepare for the marriage. Many people are busy preparing for the wedding. Which gown I'm going to put on, which cake we will have, how many tiers of the cake, the colors, how many people to invite, which music to play, and so on and so forth. But if you ask them the children to produce, if you ask them the place they will live in after the wedding, if you ask them, they have no answers for those.
Yeah.
So you would rather be busy preparing for the marriage than being consumed preparing for the
For
wedding.
the wedding, yeah.
It's very difficult to find a wedding that fails.
Yeah.
Weddings happen,
Yeah, they do.
but marriages fail every day.
Yeah.
Every day marriages are failing. Why? Because we prepared for the wedding, we did not prepare for the marriage.
Sure.
What does preparation for the marriage mean? I can assure you that's another whole session we need to have. How to prepare for marriage. So I won't get into it now. I will just make mention of that.
Okay.
And then the second one and last one, I would put it this way, and I put it in here. Let me see. It's let me say it the way I wrote it here. Better a broken relationship than a broken marriage.
100%, yes.
So we have, and this is to put into context the conversation we've had today. that if you realize that you are not yet ready for the marriage, you realize he or she is also not yet ready for the marriage. And the unreadiness could be around fundamental, foundational issues. Don't feel that it is a shame for you to break the relationship. Rather to have a broken relationship, broken courtship, than a broken marriage. Than to say, let me still move on, get into the marriage. And then even in marriage, you fail in the marriage, you now become a divorcee, a divorced person. Better to say, I was in 2 relationships that didn't work, than to say, I was in 2 marriages that didn't work.
Yeah.
This happened to a friend of mine I know. When she told me I felt pain, it was deep pain. She said that 2 weeks to the wedding, this gentleman looked at her and said, by the way, I no longer love you. Just that I have already invited people for our wedding, but honestly, I no longer love you. I have no love for you anymore. And then she said she still just moved on into the marriage 2 weeks later when she knew that.
She knew, yeah.
And now she was telling me that a year later when she had divorced, because it couldn't work out in the first.
Yeah.
There was no love, there was no nothing.
Yeah.
So in my heart I was saying, I wish at that moment you had known that God was saving you by this man opening up and saying, I actually no longer love you.
2 weeks
wow,
before.
that's golden. You would rather let the wedding stop, call people, say, we are sorry, the wedding has been postponed, we'll tell you later. Service providers have been paid, lose that money. Those you've not paid, don't send money, but save your whole future. Better a broken relationship than a broken marriage.
For sure. For sure.
Okay, so I'll say 3 things in conclusion. Number 1, when you realize your partner is not ready, educate yourself on the reasons why.
Yeah.
Don't just run. Find out why. Take time to educate yourself. Mark my choice of words. Because sometimes people run with emotions. Can you imagine? But take time to understand why. And I want to tell you some of the fears or the reasons behind non-commitment, for instance, could be redeemable.
Yes,
There could be genuine. They have genuine fears. They have this and that. And I can't stop thinking about my brothers who are worried about money. And how they and the magnitude of the wedding and all that. There is always a way you can actually discuss that and see. Should you find that the issues are of a fundamental nature, of a foundational nature, and you realize someone is not willing to learn and be better, to unlearn certain things, then that means most likely they are not ready. Now, I want to emphasize the issue of learning and growing. You see, this is a new platform called marriage. It's a platform for learning and growing. Rachel, I've told you here, I'm in my 29th year of marriage. This is not the girl that got married 29 years ago. I am different. So many things have changed. So many character issues. So many I've learned a lot. I've had to unlearn certain things. I have a different perspective to life. And so many things. So I've grown. And I don't regret being a little girl, like, why am I not No, there are so many things that have happened. My life is totally different, and I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah.
But I want to tell you, this is a growth platform. So if someone is not ready, or there are certain things, that's why we have the flexible qualities, where you say, well, this one, this we can grow together. And I always tell people that some of the things might not change by the way until you die, and that's okay. None of you is going to die. But there are certain fundamentals. Like religious affiliation.
Yeah, faith. Matters of faith for me, they are
Matters
fundamental.
of faith.
Yeah.
It's
Very
fundamental. So how are you going to handle that? We've had a whole conversation. So educate yourself on the reason why someone is not committing. Number 2, don't force your partner into commitment. Don't force them, don't drag them, don't coerce them. Because you're going to that they're going to break. Yeah, you force them, they break.
No, it will be hard work for you to maintain them there where you have dragged them.
You're
to.
not
Yeah.
going to maintain them.
Yes.
Because if you force them, maintaining them by force
Yeah.
is also going to be extremely an uphill task.
Yeah.
So it is important you move with them, and if you realize they can't, then they can't. They can't. They're giving you a clear signal. They are not ready.
Believe them.
They are not ready. You see? Well, lastly, I want to emphasize what I talked about earlier. If you're not yet trapped, don't trap yourself. Because if you trap yourself with an unready person,
You have to live with this.
you're going to
for the
live with
rest of
that,
your
and
life,
it's going to be so hard. Because you know why, Rachel? We are dealing with mental health issues in marriage. We were here, we talked about depression in marriage. These are some of the reasons people are depressed. Because now you're trapped. You realize they are not committing. You say, now let me get pregnant so that they commit.
Yeah.
Gosh,
And
they
then
can-
after that, they leave you with your
they
pregnancy.
leave you with your pregnancy.
Yeah.
Or they are
Double
still
tragedy.
there,
I
or
know,
they
right?
are still playing games,
Yeah.
and you're there with the pregnancy. Don't trap someone. Do not trap someone. If they are not ready, they are not ready. You cannot ready them by trapping them,
Yes.
right? So it's important you know that the world has thousands of other people. Now the
Yes.
challenge is that when we are in a
Millions.
relationship, we say this is the only one. No.
Omubwati, the one and only.
No. Even the Lord said it. He said, and there are 7,000 others.
Yes.
Now, if this person is not ready, and they are showing you they are not ready for marriage, and you're ready for marriage, you're looking for a partner to marry. When I got into a relationship, I had one goal, because I made sure that I didn't get into another relationship of this one, now this one, now I'm this person.
Testing, microphone, testing, one,
Now
two,
I'm
one,
this
two.
person's girlfriend, now another girlfriend. Come on. I said, I'm going to engage once,
Yeah.
and that's it. And I was ready for marriage. And even my conversations followed that direction. Are you ready for marriage? Me, I'm ready for marriage. And then I saw that. And then before I got into this relationship, that was it. Right? Now, trapping.
Yeah.
Rachel.
No, that was very, very, very helpful. Thank you both for, giving us all this information. It's in books, it's here on the channel, it's everywhere.
Yes.
So please take advantage and let's educate ourselves. Have standards. I think that's one of the things that has stood out for me.
Oh, yes.
Have standards, have values, understand yourself, ask yourself those really hard questions and come up with your answers for them, because then that becomes the blueprint to how you interact with other people. Yeah, so leave us a comment. Let us know if this conversation has been useful, and if it has, share it with someone. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.